Hello, and welcome to the Woo Woo Gypsy podcast. I'm Taylor, your hostess with the mostest. Today we have a fiction book by Sarah Adler called Happy Medium. It is 388 pages. This is not including a little reader's guide in the back where she gives insight into her inspiration for writing the novel. And then also she gives some discussion questions, which I absolutely love. I don't think that I've come across any discussion questions in any of the other books, especially fiction books that I've come across. So that is a neat little addition to this book. What you can expect with today's episode is some fun little bloopers at the end. I've had some technical difficulties getting this episode going. So that's been fun. So stay tuned for that because it's kind of funny. There will also be spoilers, so if you don't want to be spoiled, then maybe stop or skip after I give the quick little introduction on what the book is about, because I will be talking about what happens in the book. Also, just a side note before I forget, you have to check out the cover of this book at my Instagram, Woo Woo Gypsy. Actually, hang on, let me check. And we're back. Okay, sorry. It is woo gypsy. And that is my Instagram handle. So go to that to check out this artwork, the cover art. It's super cute. It is designed by Vicky Chu. So shout out to her because it's the cutest freaking thing, and it's honestly why I picked up the book, because the back description I wasn't so sure, but yeah. The cover art just sold me. I hate to judge a book by its cover, but I'm totally that bitch that does that. Are you guys? Let me know. Because I totally 100% do. Usually the title is what catches me first, and then I'll look at the cover art, and then I'll read the back. But I do always read the back, even if the cover art isn't cute. But I do judge a book by its cover, unfortunately. My bad. Without further ado, let's get into the book. The book is about a girl named Gretchen who pretends to be a medium while living in DC and taking in like high class clientele. Most of them are super rich old women. So one of these old women hires her to go help her bridge partner on a farm, a goat farm. And they are claiming that there is poltergeist activity. So she goes there to help out. Obviously, she is a fraud. So she's not sure how she's going to do this, but she is a con artist. And that's how she was raised by her father. So she thinks, okay, this is going to be like any other job. I'll just roll with the punches. I'll figure it out. I'm really good at this stuff. So if I have to pretend like there's a ghost around and just talk into the nether and pretend like there's somebody there, then I'll do it. She gets to this farm, realizes after all this research that she's done on the owner, because that's how she gets her information, or one of the ways she gets her information for these clients, so she kind of knows what she's talking about when they think that she's talking to their dead loved ones. So she gets all this information about who she thinks the owner of this farm is, only to find out that it is his super hot grandson. Now, one thing I did not expect when I got this book was the little sex stuff that she has in here. So if you're not into that, then I guess you can just kind of skip those parts, because there's just a few parts here and there. Kind of towards the end-ish, but there's this sexual tension between them that's kind of there the entire time. So if that's not really your thing, then I would skip this book. But I enjoyed that significantly. I was not expecting it. It was a pleasant surprise. So the turns out to be young farmer is trying to sell the farm and is unable to due to the poltergeist activity. This is where you should stop if you do not want any spoilers, because I am now going to get into the nitty-gritty of it. I'm going to apologize in advance because my brain works super weird, so I might go in all different directions and then kind of backtrack, but I'm going to try to do my best. I just wanted to give a little warning here. The book starts off with Gretchen in her shop doing her thing, getting that money from the old wealthy ladies, pretending to talk to their past loved ones, and this little lady, Miss Van Alst, I believe, like comes in to talk to Gretchen, to talk to her dead daughter. This is one of her most wealthy clients and one that comes in very frequently. And so she tells her about this farmer who needs help. And so Gretchen's like, okay, yeah, I'll go. And she gets 10 grand to go help. And she's supposed to just be gone for the weekend. So she goes to this farm and is totally expecting an old geezer farmer. Ends up being a hot dude in a weird sweater that his grandma knit him that answers the door. She talks to him. He immediately is like, fuck no, I don't like you. Get off my fucking property. I'm calling the police. She turns around and is walking back down the driveway. And now, mind you, if you remember, I said that she is a con artist. She does not actually speak to the dead. But lo and behold, as she's walking down the driveway to leave, she runs into the resident ghost. Okay, so here's one of the random little things that I forgot to say. She does have a rule where she wants to leave people better off than the way she found them. Okay, now that I've covered that, let's get back. She runs into the resident ghost, Everett, and he's like, oh my god, you can see me? And she's like, holy fuck, yes I can. How the fuck is this happening? Blah, blah, blah. They get kind of acquainted. He's like, you can't leave. There's a fucking curse on my family, and I died when I tried to leave the property, and if the Waybills leave the property, aka the hot farmer Charlie, he's gonna die. So she's like, well, fuck, that goes against my rule. I can't leave this guy to die. That would be worse off than when I met him. So, okay, now I've got to do something. So she goes back up to the house. They're plotting, they're scheming together. He's like, sorry, and then shoves her ass into a fucking puddle and poof, disappears. Oh, I remember. Okay, so Everett did this because he said that Charlie is a softie, basically, and he always wants to help somebody. So Charlie did not like Gretchen at first. So he's like, well, maybe if I make you in peril, he'll like you a little bit more. She goes up to the door, sopping wet, and of course he invites her in, lets her shower. She's all, oh, I don't have anything to wear because it's all so wet. He gives her some of his clothes, and it's kind of a little, like, sexy-ish thing going on there. You can tell he's attracted to her, but he, like, fucking hates her guts. It's one of those, like, ooh, I hate you so bad that I'm attracted to you, kind of like ordeals. So, basically, they come up with this plan that she's going to stay for a month. If she can convince him that there is a ghost and there is a curse, then she gets to keep the money from Miss Van Alst. But otherwise, Charlie says she has to repay her everything from the year, and I believe it's April at this point. And mind you, she kind of relies on this client's money for rent and bills, etc. So it's kind of a big gamble for Gretchen. But she takes it because she's like, I'm the best con artist there is, and I'm going to be able to trick him. Or not trick him, I guess, because she is telling the truth now. But she's like, I'm going to be able to convince him that I'm telling the truth now. Throughout her stay, they get kind of mean towards each other, kind of a little seductive towards each other. Gretchen's not sure if she wants to go that route to win him over, but Everett keeps pushing it. And let me tell you, the character of Everett is so cool. Honestly, that's what kind of roped me in, because at the beginning I'm like, okay, I like this, whatever. But then once he stepped into the picture and she stepped into him, no pun intended, you'll get it if you read the book, I was hooked. Yeah. I also am hoping that this becomes like a movie, because the way that she painted the picture, I was able to envision everything so perfectly. Even the way she describes Everett, because obviously he's a ghost, so he's like half-assed going through things, but he's kind of hover sitting on things, but he also is kind of see-through, but she can, see him clearly and see his features clearly. She did a phenomenal job. Like, yes, girl. Yes, awesome. As she goes through her stay here, they have some funny times, which kind of, I think, opens Charlie's heart to Gretchen a little bit. And they become a little bit closer, little by little. Then they get a little bit sexual. And the way that Sarah starts describing it is perfect. Like, she made Charlie like the perfect man. I'm not gonna lie. The perfect man. The way that she describes their little scenes, I'm just like, okay. I don't really read smut, but maybe if she wrote it, I might. And it's just, yeah. I can't, it left me speechless. The first two, I think 2 or 3 interactions that were slightly sexual in nature, and by slightly I mean very, it kind of like leaves you right at the precipice. You're just like how Gretchen is feeling in the book. He like brings her right there, and then he's like, oh, but wait, I'm supposed to hate you, and we're both supposed to be lonely people who are afraid to let people in, and it's so good. I almost liked it better than when they finally gave in to each other towards the end, but just kudos. I'm not going to give away the ending. I just wanted to give a little bit of a teaser. This is a book I definitely would recommend for you to read. It's got great character growth. It's got those great little sexy scenes. It's got amazing descriptors. There were some parts of it with the description that I was trying to understand and like picture in my head where they were located in like a certain room or in conjunction with each other. But also it's hard for my brain sometimes to understand certain things, and so I have to reread things. So it's probably mostly just on my end, but she did a phenomenal, phenomenal job. And I'd really love to see this as like a movie and see what I pictured in my head in real life. I almost want to like draw it, but I fucking suck at drawing. I love drawing, suck. But I would love to see a movie come out about this book. At the end of the book, Everett and Gretchen become best friends, and it gets a little sad concerning the two of them. I'm not going to give it away, but Everett does lie about something, so it kind of changes everything right at the end. It was literally like the last, I think, 20 pages. Sarah just like plopped in a plot twist there for us, which was awesome, but very sad, tearjerker. Otherwise, overall, it was just a great book. Great book. I definitely recommend. I'm gonna give this one an 11 out of 10 because the little like Like, I almost felt like I was the character, which I do in a lot of books when I'm reading them anyways. But just the way that she did, like, the sexual tension between them, it was almost like you could feel it the way she was describing it. And the way she was describing the scene between the two of them was just good. And I couldn't even really relate to this character as much just because she's not big on animals, even though she's at a goat farm. She's not big on animals, and I'm totally the opposite. So she made a character that I could relate to in some ways, but not in huge ways relatable to me, I guess, is what I'm trying to say. Anyways, okay, I'm going to end my spiel here. Awesome book. I love, 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 love that she added the discussion questions at the end. If you read this book, send me a message. Tell me what you think, because I just need to know, and that's part of the reason why I made this podcast, is so I can have a little community, because I'm a sad, lonely gal. All right. I hope you guys have a fantastic rest of your day. Sending you all my love and best wishes, and I will see you maybe next week, maybe the week after. I'm not quite sure on my schedule here yet. I've got, a baby and a kiddo, and yeah, so my stuff gets kind of crazy sometimes, but I'm going to try to do at least bi-weekly, if not more frequently. Okay. All right. Enjoy these bloopers. Mwah. Today's book is a fiction novel. Are you kidding me, bro? Shut up! We have... What the fuck, man?